Nalin Haley, the son of former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, went viral on social media for his interview on Tucker Carlson's podcast.
Haley took a hard stance on immigration in the interview, arguing against dual citizenship and saying that only American-born citizens should be able to hold public office. Take a look.
Naturalized citizens should not be able to hold public office. Growing up here is a big part of understanding the country. We need to stop and limit the amount of foreign students that are coming into our universities. Some of them are spies, by the way, for foreign governments, but it's also just we should put our kids first.
Yes.
And we should also not allow dual citizenship because that's the stupidest idea. You're either American or you're not. And everyone wants to make it so complicated. That's the thing that I don't like about the past generation is they're always about the rules, the process, and regulation. No, it's really simple. You're just America first. People should have their loyalty to America first. And if they can't do that, then this ain't the country for you.
Some conservatives backed up Haley's thoughts, like Florida Representative Anna Paulina Luna. She writes on X, "This kid has more sense than my colleagues in the House and Senate." And YouTuber Benny Johnson says being born and raised as an American is critical to appreciating and understanding our land. It's common sense.
But there was also a lot of pushback, with some pointing out that Haley himself is the grandson of immigrants. Others were especially against Haley's desire to get rid of dual citizenship. Writer Robert Kearney says, quote, "Almost every country on earth allows for dual citizenship. I could understand banning it for certain countries that are known for being hostile to the U.S., but those who are our allies and no threat to our way of life should be allowed to keep theirs." I guess if people who are criticizing him are being honest, that then technically his family that are immigrants would have never had U.S. citizenship, so then his mom would never be able to be the woman that she is in our political arena, and then, you know, he probably wouldn't be who he is. So I guess that would affect him deeply.
Well, he's not calling for all legal immigration to stop in perpetuity. And I also think, you know, looking at when his grandparents came, that was, I believe, the 60s, which is obviously a very different time. We did not have the level of immigration that we have now and the number of foreigners in the country that we have now. It was just a fundamentally different time. And he even addresses that in the Tucker Carlson interview. He's like, one, it was a different time, and two, also, just because my grandparents did something doesn't mean that I'm obligated to do that too, right? Like, we shouldn't judge people based on what their parents or their grandparents did. And he has a different opinion, and I think that's fine. He obviously has different opinions than even his mom. And he talks about how he loves and respects her, and they just disagree on politics. And I think actually that's really nice to see that they are still able to have a really loving relationship, and he is grateful of her being a good mom. And they can disagree on this thing without it becoming a reason to, like, you know, leave the family or have some strain or anything. They still have a good relationship. That's a good model, I think, for the rest of the country.
I think because recently there's been like a have and have not situation with the president offering a path to citizenship for a certain dollar amount, then that to me becomes problematic, because it's like, oh, well, we only will allow people who are wealthy to come and then run for president.
The gold card. I think it's stupid.
Yeah, you don't like the golden. Yeah. Okay, and I think that, you know, we have been American at our core, like, since we started coming up with laws, and so citizenship is citizenship. And so when he, you know, kind of wants to isolate us, because I travel so much with the series, like even in Qatar, I know that they don't really allow people to become Qatari citizens. Part of that is because Qatari citizens automatically get many things, like a home once they're of age, like things that just are built into their society. And so they have a different set of rules than we do, but they do welcome people to come there on foreign long-term visas and stay and help build their economy. And so there's an argument from looking at how the rest of the world does it that perhaps it's better or worse. But I think that Pandora's box is so far opened in the U.S. And even, like you said, the golden entry into the U.S. is now a conversation that how we pull back and close doors now and then tell people that have been here for generations, they came here a way that they went by the books and now their family's here, that you shouldn't be counted as an American. You came from, let's say, India or South Africa or wherever. You should just, that's your one citizenship card. It's like, it kind of benefits us to have a diversity of thought and people here. I know he got into like H-1B visas, and then we talk about migrant labor and even the farm workers in Pennsylvania that say they rely on some of this labor, even businessmen like Elon Musk and President Trump who've used migrants for their labor. Like, it is a part, whether you like it or not, of the fabric of our nation. And so to kind of shut it down and say that we don't want anyone else to be a citizen here when we are they end up being taxpayers. They end up enriching our society. They end up being sometimes the best, and not the best, but some bright people here with new ideas that help us propel us forward. I don't think that that's an avenue that we want to go down.
Yeah, I think we need to be clear about what he's saying, though, which is that he doesn't want dual citizenship. What that means is that if someone does become naturalized as an American citizen, they would have to renounce their citizenship of another country, right? It doesn't.
Oh, he's saying he wants them to cancel their other citizenship.
Yes, exactly.
I thought he was saying just pick one, you'll be here staying long term, but you're just let's say you're of South African citizenship, and that's it. You're just here as a South African on a visa. He's not saying, he's saying you can pick one or the other. Like you can pick the
yes,
U.S.
correct.
Okay, well that's I don't think that's like optional to. Why would you renounce where you're from? Because you can still learn about an entire culture without renouncing your entire childhood.
Well, because for the sense of loyalty to a country or a government, if you have split loyalties, then that can create problems of national security. For example, when you have he's mentioning foreign students being spies, right? There's a lot of students and professors from China that are actively spying on the United States. And so there's a concern of if you have a dual loyalty, like which country do you serve in a time of crisis? He talks about why should an American citizen be serving for like a foreign country's military, right? Like that's potentially a major national security issue. Like you don't want people who are naturalized as American citizens going off to fight potentially on the other side of a war from us. Like that could cause a huge conflict. So I think that's what he's talking about. And his point about H-1B visas, I think, is well taken because right now we have higher than 60% of American STEM majors who graduate from college with a STEM degree not working in the STEM industry. Well, why is that? Well, it's pretty obvious. The H-1B workers, who are a broad swath of the STEM industry, can work for less money than American citizens. And so they are going to different industries to try to make more money because they're being crowded out by foreigners, even though they did everything the right way, right? Like people tell them, go to college, get the STEM degree, and you're going to make six figures and everything's going to be great, but they can't find work in their own industry. And so I think there's a case to be made that we're not actually bringing the best and the brightest. We're just bringing cheaper replacements. And you'll remember in 2015, Disney had that huge scandal where they were making American workers train their foreign replacements. Obviously, this isn't the case that the replacements were smarter than the ones who were working there, right? If they were the ones training the replacements.
Isn't this a bit of an internal friction within, and I know it is right now within MAGA, because the president will be like in front of Saudi leaders recently and say, you know, we're not going to go find people right off the unemployment line to fill some of these jobs. And like
people MAGA's furious.
Well, that's what I mean. He's having friction, but then if Democrats are feeling this way and the president is feeling this way, then we can just safely assume that there's a large portion of the country that feels this way. So it's just something that needs to be talked through and settled, because it seems like there's a lot of off-putting different information and sides about this one argument. I mean, even Elon Musk, I remember publicly sharing his stance about H-1B visas. And
of course he loves them. He wants the cheap labor for his tech companies.
And that's what I'm saying. There's so much variety, but he's also somebody who people look to for leadership in some ways within the Republican Party. I mean, he had an entire role in Doge. And so like his policies are the best going to get us down to the type of limited government that we're looking for. This is somebody who also wants to implement these policies. So there's an internal fight right now about how to handle this. And really, I think it's more on the Republican side because a lot of Democrats are championing the idea.
No, it's true. This is a big fight among the America First MAGA coalition. And people, when Elon Musk made those comments alongside Vivek Ramaswamy, there was outrage about that.
I remember.
And they told Elon Musk, stay out of immigration, stick to Doge, right? Like, stay in your lane, basically. And Trump has angered a lot of members of the base because of his comments saying that, oh, no, you don't have talent in America.
He did a lot the last week.
That's so disrespectful, right? Like, we don't have talented people here who can work. Like, are you kidding me? Why are you talking about your own citizens like that?
Yeah, it's definitely been causing a lot of friction. It's just one of the many things that MAGA is trying to sort out right now. Next on Rising, comedian Jon Stewart has some choice words for Trump and his supporters. Wonder what that is. We'll be right back.